Yeah, and don't ever let a credit card company tell you otherwise. I mean, realistically, you may be responsible for $50 of whatever the overall purchase was, the fraudulent purchase, but you're not responsible for it.
Would that be true also if you had a debit card as opposed to credit card and there was fraud involved?
I think it's the same thing.
It is the same
problem with a
policy?
debit card is they have access to your cash right away.
Yes.
They have access to your cash.
And
Credit card, yeah.
That brings up a good point. So if
I
you were
personally don't like to use my debit card. I really don't, because it's cash. It's just like cash. If they get your ID number or however the heck they're doing with those swipe machines, they can have access to your cash, and you may not know about it. Again, who thinks to check on their statement, check on the phone or go on the internet every day to see if there's any unusual debits or withdrawals?
But that is, again, a buyer beware. The onus
Exactly.
is on you to check.
Yes, you have an obligation. If you look under the Uniform Commercial Code, you have an obligation to make sure you actively review your bank statements. So if you don't find out, or if you don't notice that this was an unusual purchase or a questionable purchase or withdrawal until 6 months after the statement actually came in, you've got a problem now, because the bank may not the bank may not reverse the charge.
Which is why you said be vigilant.
Yeah, you have to be vigilant, because there are certain requirements as the owner of the bank account. This is just for bank accounts. I'm not saying for credit cards only, but for bank accounts as well. You have to make sure that you review those statements. Some people just get them, throw them in a pile, and don't look at them ever. You really have to be vigilant about that as well.
Interestingly, in reading how people are frequently donating now, and donating over a period of time, it has given those scam artists even more reason to try to find ways to tap into that credit card. Apparently, there's a very high correlation between those who are using their credit card and those who are scammers will often use the credit card to see if it's blocked, and they do it by first testing the waters with a small donation to a charity. I'm not sure it would necessarily be Haiti, but I bet now that they would be adding Haiti to that list. And if it's only a $10 check right now to see if that's working, then that gives them reinforcement that they could go elsewhere and then turn it to $10,000 or whatever if they were doing that. So yet another reason to check that card as
It's
often
sad.
as they can.
It really is sad, because people try and capitalize on other individuals' misfortunes. It unfortunately happens a lot to elderly. It really happens a lot to elderly people who really aren't may not be internet savvy, may not have a computer. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Maybe this is a good time then to discuss just how that seniors may be using the internet, actually young people using the internet as well. Apart from the fact that you could be an internet victim or a victim of a scam, it may be bigger than just that scam. It may also mean identity theft. And I think we had at another time begun to talk about how identity theft can happen, but certainly this gives rise to even more opportunities for that to happen when someone is likely to use the internet. So what are the most popular ways someone is likely to go after your identity and do something with it?
As simple as getting a telephone solicitation and having the caller ask for your Social Security number. You disclose your Social Security number to them. That's like opening your bank book and saying, here, take everything. Because that Social Security number, of course, is identifiable to you. They can get a lot of information on you just with that, and they can steal your identity. They can take out credit under your Social Security number. Recently, I think it was the TJX corporations, they just settled huge, not if they settled it, somebody got convicted for being able to swipe numbers off credit cards. So you go right into the store, I'm not just saying it's TJX, it could be other companies. Swipe your credit card on the at the register, and whatever it was, they had some information in there, and they just magnetically take your credit card information right from there. So they use that, and they stop making purchases. It's just very it's actually how they do it, I don't know, but I could never even think about trying to figure out how to take somebody's identity, but it's pretty well advanced.
Well, the hackers' capabilities are just incredible. There's something even called spyware.
That's right.
And the Trojan horses, and even crimeware, where people are apparently now able to avail themselves of your security codes, your Social Security numbers, credit card numbers, and use them at will. At times, I guess, they've been using them to you to buy things with existing accounts, but also once they had either your social security number, your date of birth, or your
Anything.
name, or
Yeah.
any of that,
Yep.
if they're able to lift that off the computer, they can also
Exactly.
open up new accounts too. So
That's
there's no end to
exactly.
that. You mentioned that getting the value of getting a credit card or a credit report.
One way to follow up on your to make sure that you're yeah, excuse me, I can't talk today. One way to be vigilant about it is to get a copy of your credit report. If you want to get it once a month, you can do it, except you're going to have to pay
for
for
that.
it. But annualcreditreport.com gives you the ability to get a credit report, one from each credit reporting agency, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, free once a year. So get all three once a year. Do it maybe around the first of the year, so it's easy to remember. New Year's resolution. Let's check up on credit. If you see anything suspicious on that credit report, you want to contact Credit Reporting Bureau, all three credit reporting companies immediately. Immediately, by phone, by internet, best to do it by phone. And you want to tell them that you're a victim of identity theft. You want to put a fraud alert on your credit bureaus, and I think it's only there for about 3 months, and you have to renew it. You want to do that. You want to call your local police department. You want to file a police report. And in some cases, if you're a homeowner, your homeowner's policy may even reimburse you for your losses. Okay,
Really?
so people should really read their homeowners policies because they do cover identity theft, victims of identity theft.
You mentioned that a credit card report or credit report is free once a year.
Yes.
Many credit card companies will tell you that they are offering that to you, and then they want for you to sign up for a monthly charge.
Yeah, that's,
is that a necessary thing, or is that also a scam?
Well, I hate to say it's a scam, but why?
Unnecessary?
It's unnecessary. Unless you want to give them a small amount of money every month to
monitor?
To monitor. Then that's legitimate, and there's nothing wrong with that. So they can monitor it every month. It just depends on what they're charging. If they're charging something nominal like $10 a month, and to some people that might be a lot of money, that's okay. But $50, $60, $70 a month, when you can do it on your own, okay, you can do it on your own. You can always call your credit card company. You can go on the internet. You can look at your credit purchases. But if you start getting strange telephone calls from collection companies looking for a payment on a bill you never incurred, you want to contact your local police department. I mean, it's a lot of work to rectify your credit when somebody has stolen your identity.
And is it true that the only way you would know is if you happen to find a credit card that shows up with it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't necessarily know until you, or maybe if you went to look for a loan.
Exactly. If you try and apply for credit and all of a sudden it kicks back saying you're denied because of a delinquent credit history, you might say, well, why? You know, how can that be? I pay all my bills, and then you run your credit, and then you see, what's this, this was never in my name. And I can tell you that every single credit report is not going to be 100% accurate. There are always inconsistencies, especially with members of a family who are Joe and Joe Jr. You're always going to see overlapping of, dads and sons' credit histories because they're so similar. So not just by social security number, you would think, but there was always inconsistencies, and it's up to you as the individual to dispute that, make sure that it gets corrected. Very easy. You call the credit card company, you call the credit bureau, and you tell them, this is what I'm disputing. They have 30 days to get back to you with a copy of a new credit report, and it has to be rectified. If it's not, then you can go further, where you can put a complaint in, excuse me, complaint in, or I think it's a 180-word description in the credit bureau that says, look, I'm disputing this debt, it's never been in my name, or this debt shouldn't be reported as delinquent because whatever. But you have that right. You have the rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You have that right.
If I receive an email that says, if you don't respond within 30 days, your account is about to be canceled, would that be considered a reasonable thing that a credit card company would do? Or is that too likely to be a scam? We know that there are ways in which it is a scam. Would that red flag you?
So you're getting a letter that says...
An email that said, please call or email right now, click here, or your account is about to be closed or in some way jeopardized.
It's like those emails from Africa where they say you've inherited $1 million
yes,
from
you
a
won the lottery too.
Yeah, the antenna should go up on that. The antennas, and you don't want to click into that. And again, you're even the website, even your like AOL and Yahoo. If unless they never ask you for your password. So if somebody's coming in out of nowhere and asking you for a password and it doesn't look like it's legitimate, and yet, then you know that it's fraud. And same thing with what you're saying.